Hello, welcome back to my channel. Today we will be talking about the absolute devastating heartbreak of Deacon Sharp catching Taylor Hayes kissing Ridge Forrester right after finalizing his divorce from Sheila. And let me just tell you right off the bat that I am absolutely exhausted typing this out because my mind is completely blown by what just went down. But I had to get on here and just dump all my thoughts because this is the kind of soap opera mess that we all live for. So Deacon Sharp actually did it. He actually went through with a divorce from Sheila Carter. He signed the papers. He made it completely official. And he did all of this because he truly believed with his whole entire heart that Taylor Hayes was the woman of his dreams. He thought she was his future. He really thought he had finally won the ultimate prize. And it is just so pathetic when you really think about it because Deacon has always been the underdog. He has always been the guy looking in from the outside. So when a high-class, Forrester-adjacent woman like Taylor actually gave him the time of day, he fell for it, hook, line, and sinker, just totally, completely blinded by her. So Deacon is riding this massive high. He is officially a free man. The ink on the divorce papers is barely even dry. And he decides he wants to do something incredibly special for Taylor because he wants to celebrate. He wants to show her that he's fully committed to this new chapter of their lives together. So he goes all out. He prepares this incredibly romantic dinner. He is probably pulling out all the stops from Il Giardino. The best pasta, the most expensive bottle of wine he can find. He is packing it all up, and he is just smiling like an absolute fool. Because he thinks he is heading over to the Cliff House to start his happily ever after. And I am just sitting here watching this, thinking about how incredibly naive this man is. Because anyone who has watched Taylor Hayes for more than 5 minutes knows that she is never truly over Ridge Forrester. But Deacon just refuses to see it. He refuses to acknowledge the reality of the situation because he is just so desperate to be loved by someone who is considered good and pure. But we all know Taylor is not pure. And I have been saying this on my channel for months. Taylor is a hypocrite. She runs around pointing fingers at Brooke Logan and Sheila Carter, but she is just as messy as the rest of them, if not worse, because she hides behind this fake psychiatric moral high ground. So Deacon is driving over to Taylor's house, and he is probably rehearsing what he is going to say to her. He is probably thinking about how he is going to tell her that Sheila is completely out of the picture now, that they don't have to hide anymore, that they can just be a normal couple. And he is just so excited that he decides to show up early, which is always the biggest mistake anyone can ever make in Los Angeles. You never show up early because you are always going to catch someone doing something they shouldn't be doing. But Deacon doesn't know that. Or maybe he just forgot the rules of the game. So he pulls up to the Cliff House and the sun is setting. It is this beautiful, gorgeous golden hour in Malibu. The kind of lighting that makes everything look like a movie. The waves are crashing in the background. The ocean breeze is blowing. And Deacon is walking up to the house with his romantic dinner setup, just totally oblivious to the absolute nuclear bomb that is about to go off in his face. And he walks in, or he walks up to the patio, and he looks over. And his entire world just completely stops spinning. Because there she is. Taylor Hayes. The woman he just blew up his entire marriage for. The woman he defended against everyone. And she is wrapped up in the arms of Ridge Forrester. And they are not just hugging, they are kissing. Passionately, deeply. In the sunset. Like they are the only two people in the entire world. And I just let out a scream when I saw this. Because I knew it. I absolutely knew it. But seeing it actually happen is just so brutal. And let's just talk about this kiss for a second, because this wasn't a quick little peck on the cheek. This was a full-blown romantic Destiny-style embrace, and Taylor was leaning into it. She wasn't pushing him away. She wasn't telling him to stop. She was completely surrendering to Ridge, just like she always does, because she is completely addicted to him. And Ridge, oh my gosh, do not even get me started on Ridge Forrester, because Ridge is currently married to Brooke Logan. He is a married man, but he is over here at his ex-wife's house kissing her in the sunset. Because Ridge Forrester's ego is so massive that it actually has its own zip code. He cannot stand the idea of Taylor moving on with another man, especially a man like Deacon Sharp, because Ridge hates Deacon. He has always hated Deacon. So the second Ridge realized that Taylor was actually getting serious with Deacon, he had to swoop in, he had to mark his territory. Because Ridge does not want to lose Taylor. Even though he already chose Brooke, he wants to have his cake and eat it too. And it is just so sickening to watch. So Deacon is just standing there, frozen in place. The romantic dinner he prepared is probably feeling like 1,000,000 pounds in his hands. And you can just see the exact moment that his heart shatters into 1,000,000 tiny little pieces. Because in that one single split second, everything becomes completely clear to him. The blinders finally come off. And he realizes the absolute brutal truth. He was just a tool. He was nothing more than a band-aid. A temporary distraction for Taylor to fill the massive gaping void that Ridge left behind. And it is just so humiliating. Because Deacon literally put his life on the line for this woman. He faced down Sheila Carter, a literal psychopath with a knife. He told Sheila that his marriage was over. He broke Sheila's heart. He stood up to his own daughter Hope. He defended Taylor to everyone. And for what? For this. To catch her making out with the very man she swore she was trying to get over. It is just the ultimate betrayal. And then the confrontation happens. Because Deacon does not just sneak away quietly in the night. No. He makes his presence known. He probably drops something. Or he clears his throat. Or he just yells out. And Ridge and Taylor jump apart like two guilty teenagers caught by their parents. And the look of absolute sheer panic on Taylor's face is something I will never ever forget. Because she knows she is busted. She knows there is no talking her way out of this one. But of course she tries. Because that is what Taylor does. She immediately goes into damage control mode. She starts stuttering. She starts trying to explain. She is probably saying, "Oh, Deacon, it is not what it looks like." Or, "Ridge just caught me off guard." Or, "We were just caught up in the moment." But it is all just garbage. Complete and utter garbage. And I am so glad that Deacon does not buy a single word of it. Because Deacon's anger in this moment is just so raw and so real. You can see the fury bubbling up inside of him. This is a man who has been pushed aside his entire life. He has always been second best. He has always been the backup plan. And he thought Taylor was different. He really believed her when she said she cared about him. But now, he sees that she is just like the rest of them. She is just another Forrester elite, using him for her own selfish needs. And Deacon just lets her have it. He unloads on her. He tells her exactly what she is. A fraud, a liar, a woman who is so desperately pathetic for Ridge Forrester that she is willing to destroy anyone else who gets in her way. And I was cheering for Deacon in this moment. I really was. Because someone finally needed to put Taylor in her place. Someone needed to hold a mirror up to her face and force her to look at the ugly truth. And Taylor is just crying. She is probably trying to reach out to him, trying to grab his arm, begging him to listen to her. But Deacon is just completely done. He is disgusted by her. He is disgusted by Ridge, who, by the way, is probably just standing there looking smug. Because Ridge loves this. Ridge loves that two men are fighting over his leftovers. Ridge is probably telling Deacon to back off, telling him that Taylor is a Forrester woman and she belongs with her family. Just spewing that same tired, arrogant nonsense that he always spews. And Deacon realizes in that moment that he cannot win this fight. Not because he isn't strong enough, but because the game was rigged from the very beginning. Taylor was never truly his. She was always just on loan from Ridge. And the second Ridge snapped his fingers, she went running right back like a loyal little puppy. It is just pathetic. So Deacon turns around and he walks away. He leaves the dinner. He leaves the Cliff House. He leaves his entire dream of a happy future with Taylor dead in the dirt right there on the patio. And as he is driving away, you can just see the darkness starting to take over his face. Because the sadness is fading and the anger is taking its place. And this is where things get incredibly dangerous. Because Deacon Sharp with a broken heart is a very unpredictable man. But Deacon Sharp with a broken heart and a thirst for revenge, that is a completely different monster. And my mind immediately goes to one person, Sheila Carter. Because Sheila warned him. Sheila told him that Taylor was no good. Sheila told him that Taylor would just use him and throw him away. And Deacon didn't listen. He called Sheila crazy. He divorced her. He pushed her out of his life. But now he realizes that Sheila was the only one telling him the truth. And I am just sitting here thinking about the absolute chaotic perfection of Deacon going back to Sheila. Because it makes so much sense. It is the only logical move for him right now. He is drowning in pain. He's humiliated. He feels completely worthless. And who is the one person in Los Angeles who will always take him back? Who is the one person who will look at him and tell him that he is a king? Sheila. Because Sheila loves Deacon. In her own twisted, sick, psychotic way, she truly loves him. And if Deacon goes to Sheila right now, if he knocks on her door and tells her that she was right, that Taylor betrayed him, that Ridge humiliated him, Sheila will not just comfort him. She will weaponize him. She will take all of that pain and all of that anger and she will turn it into a master plan to completely destroy the Forrester family once and for all. And I am so here for it. I want to see it happen so badly. Because, let us be real, the Forresters deserve it. They constantly play with people's lives like they are toys. Ridge kisses Taylor while he is married to Brooke. Taylor uses Deacon while she is pining for Ridge. They just bounce around in this little bubble of privilege, and they never care who gets crushed underneath their designer shoes. But Deacon and Sheila, they are the outsiders. They are the villains. And if they team up right now, driven by this massive betrayal, they could do some serious damage. Deacon knows all of Taylor's secrets now. He knows how fragile she really is. He knows how desperate she is for Ridge. And Sheila knows exactly how to exploit those weaknesses. They could completely ruin Taylor's life. They could expose her to the medical board. They could ruin Ridge's marriage to Brooke by making sure Brooke finds out about this little sunset kissing session. The possibilities for revenge are just absolutely endless. And, Taylor's gonna panic. Because once Deacon walks away, the reality of what she just did is gonna sink in. She didn't just lose a boyfriend. She created a very dangerous enemy. Because Deacon is not going to just sit back and take this quietly. He's not going to just cry into his beer at Il Giardino. He is going to strike back. And Taylor knows that Deacon has ties to Sheila. She knows that Sheila has been hanging around in the shadows, just waiting for an opportunity to pounce. And Taylor basically just handed Sheila the ultimate weapon on a silver platter, her own husband, her own scorned, angry, vengeful husband. It is just such a massive blunder on Taylor's part, but she couldn't help herself because her addiction to Ridge Forrester is stronger than her basic common sense. She literally risked her own safety and her own sanity just for a taste of a man who was already married to someone else. And what about Ridge? Does Ridge even care about the mess he just caused? Of course not. Because Ridge never cares. Ridge is probably going to go home to Brooke tonight and climb into bed with her and act like nothing even happened. He is going to kiss his wife with the exact same lips he just used to kiss Taylor. Because he is a dog. He is an absolute dog. And I am so sick of the show trying to paint him as this ultimate romantic hero. He is a narcissist. He saw a shiny toy that used to belong to him being played with by someone else. So he walked over and he snatched it back. Not because he actually wants to keep it, but just because he doesn't want anyone else to have it. And Taylor is too stupid to see that. She thinks this means Ridge loves her. She thinks this means they're going to be a family again. But Ridge is not going to leave Brooke for her. He is just going to string her along. Just like he has done for the last 30 years. And Deacon sees all of this now. He sees the entire sick, twisted dynamic. And that is why his anger is so justified. He feels like an absolute idiot for thinking he could be the one to break the cycle. He thought his love was strong enough to pull Taylor out of the Forrester orbit. But the gravitational pull of Ridge Forrester's ego is just too strong. And Deacon was just a casualty in their endless, boring, repetitive love triangle. But Deacon is not going to just be a footnote in their story. He is going to write his own chapter now. And that chapter is going to be written in blood and fire. Because when you push a man who has nothing left to lose, he becomes incredibly dangerous. And Deacon has lost everything. He lost his wife. He lost his new girlfriend. He lost his dignity. He lost his pride. He is standing at the absolute bottom of the barrel right now. And the only way out is to claw his way up over the bodies of the people who put him there. So I am officially predicting right now that we are about to see the darkest era of Deacon Sharp that we have ever seen. He is going to go full villain. And he is going to have Sheila Carter standing right by his side. Because Sheila has been very quiet lately. She has been playing the good girl. She has been keeping her promise not to hurt anyone physically, but psychological warfare. That is completely different. And Sheila is a master at psychological warfare. And with Deacon feeding her all the inside information about Taylor and Ridge, they are going to be unstoppable. They are going to tear the Forrester family apart piece by piece. And honestly, I cannot wait to watch it happen. Because I am so tired of the Forresters always winning. I am so tired of them always getting away with their terrible behavior. It is time for some karma to hit Los Angeles. And karma's name is Deacon Sharp. And let us just think about the conversation that Deacon and Sheila are going to have when he goes back to her. Because it is going to be epic. Deacon is going to walk into her apartment or wherever she is staying, and he is just going to look at her. And he is going to say, "You were right." And Sheila is going to smile that creepy, terrifying smile of hers because she loves being right. But she is not going to rub it in his face. She is going to be smart about it. She is going to comfort him. She's going to stroke his hair and tell him that she is the only one who truly understands him. She's going to rebuild his ego. She is going to remind him that he is a survivor, that he is a bad boy, that he doesn't need these snobby rich people to validate him. And Deacon is going to eat it up because he is starved for affection right now. He is starved for loyalty. And Sheila is nothing if not fiercely loyal to the people she considers hers. And then they are going to start plotting. They are going to sit down and map out exactly how they're going to make Taylor and Ridge pay. Maybe they start by leaking the information to Brooke, because Brooke finding out that Ridge is kissing Taylor again would cause a massive explosion. Brooke would go on a rampage. She would confront Taylor. She would confront Ridge. The entire Logan and Forrester alliance would crumble. And Deacon and Sheila could just sit back at Il Giardino drinking wine and watching the fireworks. Or maybe they go after Taylor's career. Taylor is a world-renowned psychiatrist, but she is sleeping with her patients. She is kissing married men. She is completely unstable. If Deacon and Sheila managed to get some proof of her unhinged behavior, they could send it to the medical board and have her license revoked. They could strip her of the one thing that gives her that fake sense of superiority. And I just have to say again how much I despise Taylor's excuses. When Deacon caught her, the way she tried to explain it away, it just shows a complete lack of accountability. She never ever takes responsibility for her own actions. It is always someone else's fault. It was the sunset. It was Ridge's charm. It was the heat of the moment. No, Taylor, it was you. You made the choice to lean in. You made the choice to betray the man who literally just divorced his wife for you. And she expects Deacon to just forgive her. She expects him to be understanding because she is so used to men just bowing down to her. But Deacon is not Ridge. Deacon does not have the luxury of playing these stupid games. Deacon plays for keeps. And Taylor just lost the one man who actually wanted her for her. And not just as a trophy to win against Brooke Logan. So now we have this massive shift in the power dynamics. Taylor thought she was in control. She thought she had Deacon on a leash and Ridge on standby. But now she has nothing, because Ridge is going to go back to Brooke. And Deacon is going to go back to Sheila. And Taylor is going to be left completely alone in that big empty cliff house with nothing but the sound of the ocean and her own massive regrets. And she deserves it. She absolutely deserves every single bit of loneliness that is coming her way. Because you cannot play with people's hearts like that and expect to walk away completely clean. The collateral damage from this one single kiss is going to be astronomical. And I am going to be here analyzing every single second of it. And let us talk about the timing of all of this, because the timing is just so cruel. Deacon literally just finalized the divorce. He just went through all the legal trouble. He just had the hard conversations. He completely cleared the path for Taylor. He removed every single obstacle. And the second the path was clear, Taylor decided to jump the fence and run back to her toxic ex-husband. It is just such a slap in the face. It is a total mockery of everything Deacon sacrificed. And I think that is what hurts him the most. It is not just the loss of the relationship, it is the disrespect. It is the fact that Taylor looked at everything he did for her. And she decided it wasn't enough. It was never going to be enough. Because his last name isn't Forrester. And his bank account isn't as big as Ridge's. And he doesn't have a fashion empire. He just has a restaurant and a whole lot of baggage. But you know what? Deacon's baggage is exactly what is going to make this revenge storyline so amazing. Because Deacon knows the streets. He knows how to fight dirty. He is not going to challenge Ridge to a duel in the Forrester boardroom. He is going to hit him where it actually hurts. He is going to use Sheila's unhinged creativity and his own street smarts to completely dismantle their perfect little lives. And I am predicting that we are going to see some very dark, very twisted schemes coming from these two. Because they are the perfect villain couple. They balance each other out. Deacon has the charm and the access. And Sheila has the absolute lack of morals and the killer instinct. Together, they are a nightmare for the Forresters. And Taylor just woke the sleeping giant. So guys, I am just going to wrap this up because my fingers are literally cramping from typing so fast. But I need you all to sound off in the comments below. Tell me what you think about Taylor's massive betrayal. Are you as disgusted with her as I am? Do you think Ridge is ever going to actually leave Brooke for Taylor, or is he just playing his usual games? And most importantly, do you want to see Deacon and Sheila team up and destroy everyone? Because I know I do. I am completely on team villain for this one. The Forresters have had it too good for too long. It is time for Deacon Sharp to get his payback. and it is going to be glorious. Make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel because I will be back tomorrow with even more raw, unfiltered thoughts on this absolute disaster of a storyline. See you guys then.